He terrified a generation as Pennywise. He seduced audiences in fishnets as Dr. Frank-N-Furter. He played kings, killers, and comic villains with a voice that could turn menace into music. But for the last 13 years of his life, Tim Curry was fighting a battle most fans never saw, one that had nothing to do with a script or a stage. Today, we're telling that story. On August 25, 2026, Tim Curry passed away at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 80. His longtime manager confirmed the news to press. Reports say police responded to his home that night, and that no foul play is suspected, but at the time of this video, an official cause of death has not been released. We're not going to guess at that. What we can tell you is the story Curry himself started opening up about in his final years, a story that explains exactly why the man who once commanded the screen with total physical control spent his last decade in a wheelchair. The day everything changed. Rewind to July 2012. Tim Curry is getting a massage an ordinary afternoon, nothing more. Except something is wrong. Curry later said he just felt a little out of sorts. He didn't think it was serious enough to call anyone. He was wrong, and thank goodness his massage therapist disagreed with him. The therapist made the call that may have saved his life. 911. Paramedics arrived, checked his vitals, and immediately grew alarmed. Curry was rushed to the hospital, and doctors discovered the terrifying truth: he was in the middle of a massive stroke. The surgery he never talked about until now. For over a decade, fans knew Tim Curry had suffered a stroke. What most didn't know were the details of what happened on the operating table, details Curry didn't reveal publicly until his 2025 memoir, Vagabond. His brain was so swollen, so filled with blood, that surgeons had to perform an emergency craniectomy, removing a section of his own skull to relieve the pressure and keep him alive. That piece of bone was then implanted into his abdomen for safekeeping while his brain healed. Curry described the experience of coming out of it as terrifying, waking up without understanding what had happened to him or what was coming next. The operation worked. But Tim Curry would never walk unassisted again. Life in the chair. For years, Curry mostly stepped back from the public eye. He didn't disappear completely, he kept working, but almost entirely behind the camera, lending his unmistakable voice to animated projects instead of appearing on screen. Fans got him in Ben 10-inch, Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Transformers, Rescue Bots, and other voice roles throughout the 2010s and into the 2020s, proof that even without his mobility, that voice never lost its power. But the physical toll was permanent. His left leg, in particular, never fully recovered. It wasn't until September 2025, at a 50th anniversary screening of the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the Academy Museum in Los Angeles, that Curry gave fans one of his most candid public updates. Rolling onto the stage in his wheelchair to thunderous applause, he told the crowd plainly that his legs still didn't work right, and that dancing, the very thing that made him a legend in that role, simply wasn't something he could do anymore. The private man. Here's something else casual fans might not know. Despite decades of fame, Tim Curry kept his personal life almost entirely out of the spotlight. He never married. He had no children. After the stroke, he settled permanently in Los Angeles, eventually in Toluca Lake, where, according to his manager, he passed away peacefully. One detail that humanizes him: away from the cameras, Curry was a passionate gardener. He once described the appeal of gardening as being about organizing nature, not just for beauty, but as something closer to a spiritual practice. It's a striking contrast: the man who built a career playing chaos and menace on screen, finding peace in quiet, deliberate order at home. Tim Curry's career spanned more than 50 years and refused to be boxed into one genre. He was Frank-N-Furter, glam, dangerous, unforgettable. He was Pennywise, giving a generation of kids permanent coulrophobia. He was the bumbling, lovable villain in Home Alone 2. He earned Tony nominations. He played King Arthur in Spamalot. He voiced characters in everything from Rugrats to South Park. And through all of it, even after the stroke stripped him of the physical control that made him such a mesmerizing performer, he kept working. He adapted. He kept that voice going for another 13 years. That's the part of the story worth remembering, not just the tragedy of what happened to him in 2012, but the resilience of what he did afterward. Tim Curry didn't hide from what happened to him, not entirely. In his own time, on his own terms, he told fans the truth: the surgery, the chair, the leg that never came back. He just didn't do it all at once, and he didn't do it for sympathy. He did it, it seems, because he was ready. Rest in peace, Tim Curry. 1946 to 2026.